Evening and welcome to Society Hall. We're really pleased to have you here. We thank you very much. We know there's a lot going on during the summer and that you have chosen to spend your time with us. We are very grateful. Thank you. Before we get in the show tonight, it's going to be running about a 2-hour show with a short intermission. We've got some merchandise in the back. They're getting a really good sell on their CDs, $10 per CD. There's about 6 of. That's what you said. There's also a USB stick back there that's got 100 songs on it that's actually all of those CDs plus another one. It's a pretty good bargain for $50. So they'll be back there at the intermission. Go check it out. Also, we've got some more shows coming up. Next week on the 16th, we've got John Chandler. The next day right after is Tejas Brothers on August 23rd, Ordinary Elephant. On August 31st, Pat Byrne. He put on a really good show last time. He actually is out of Austin, Texas. He was born and raised in Ireland, but he sounds like a good old boy from around here. So, September 7th, Kim Rickey. September 14th, Society Hall Annual Celebration. We're going to have a big event out on the street like we do every year, so please come on down. September 20th, Eric Stuckey, and September 27th, Sam Robbins. And the list goes on, but I'm not going to bore you. You're here to listen to these gentlemen. Here we go, Syd Masters and the String Riders.
All right. All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Howdy, everybody.
Oh, that's good.
We're going to start things off with a song I wrote about my inability to carry a tune or play an instrument. Just kidding. They were worried. Let's get a big yeehaw on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeehaw! Oh, yeah. I rode out of Okie City, going south to Mexico. I was running, dodging danger, left the girl that I love so. Far behind lay Okie City and the past that I had earned. 20 notches on my 6-gun mark, the lessons I had learned. Many times I sold my fast gun for a place to lay my head, till the nights began to haunt me by the men that I left dead. I couldn't stand it any longer, this life that I'd begun, so I said goodbye to Jeannie and became a running gun. I rode into Alamosa as the sun sank in the west. My thoughts returned to Jeannie and the home that I love best. I smiled and kissed her gently and then turned away to go. Said I'd send for her to meet me when I reached old Mexico. I had barely left the saddle and my foot just touched the ground, when a cold voice from the shadows told me not to turn around. Said he knew about my fast gun and the price paid by the law. Challenged by a bounty hunter, I turned around to draw. What do you got, Bob? I knew someday I'd meet him, for his hand like lightning flashed. My own gun stood in leather as his bullet tore its path. And as I lay there slowly dying, I could see him walk away. And I knew that where I lie tonight, he too must lie one day. Now a crowd is slowly gathering and my eyes are growing dim. My thoughts return to Jeannie and the home that we had planned. Oh, please tell her, won't you, mister, that she's still the only one. For a woman's love is wasted when she loves a running gun. Oh, please tell her, won't you, mister, that she's still the only one. For a woman's love is wasted when she loves a running gun. Running gun, running gun. To the roving wind that brings the northern in. Along that dusty trail I'll take my stand. The steers through. When I get done at night, all the stars are big and bright. But then it's all sort of what you used to when you throw that rope and brand that calf and dream of a girl in a photograph. I got no home, I got no wife, but I'll be a doggone cowboy all of my life. Hey, Bob. Mighty fine playing, Bob. Mighty fine. Yeah, give it up for Bob. There we go. Okay, that's enough. The hot, dry wind may blow, and you'll see me in the rain and snow with just an old campfire to keep me warm. And I'll move the herd along, and I'll greet them with a song. And so I guess that I was born to throw that rope and brand that calf and dream of a girl in a photograph. I got no home, I got no wife, I'll be a doggone cowboy all of my life. Yes, I'll be a doggone cowboy all of my life. Throw that rope and brand that calf. Throw that rope and brand that calf. Throw that rope and brand that calf. Yodeloo-doo, yodelay-dee, yodeloo, yodeloo-dee. Ha-diddle-day, yodeloo, yodeloo-doo. Yip-ha! I met a gal walking down the street, down the street, down the street. The prettiest gal that I ever did meet, and we danced 'neath the light of the moon. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight and dance 'neath the light of the moon? Stopping toes and the tapping knees were knocking. I met a gal with a hole in her stocking, and we danced 'neath the light of the moon. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? Dance 'neath the light of the moon. Yeah. Oh, that's it now. Oh, suck and blow, suck and blow. Met a gal in 4-inch pumps, she helped me get out of my slump. I met a gal in 4-inch pumps, and we danced 'neath the light of the moon. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? Dance 'neath the light of the moon. Play another one, Bob, I like you. Sing it, boy! gal, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? Dance neath the light of the moon. Little buffalo gal, won't you come out? Won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Pretty little buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? Dance neath the light of the moon. Oh, little buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? And dance neath the light of the moon.
Great.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah! Oh, like the man said, my name is Syd Masters, and we are Syd Masters and the Swing Riders. Let me introduce the band to you really quick. Over here, that was quick. All right, that's it.
Too quick.
Over here on the bass guitar and harmony vocalist from Taos, New Mexico, originally from Amarillo, Texas, this is Mr. Gary Roller.
Hey, nice to be back, Alamosa. Thank you.
And over here, playing all the other instruments already that we brought on stage, the guitar and the mandolin and the harmonica and singing harmony, everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Bob.
Oh.
Thank you.
Uncle Bob is from Santa Fe, New Mexico, for a little while longer. And he's originally from the cowboy hamlet of Long Island, New York.
Pronounced correctly, Sid. I like that.
So I need some more guitar up here. I got pretty blown away on the last one. Let's get about maybe 10-15% more up here. We'll work with that and see where it takes us. So I live in Edgewood, New Mexico most of the year, and in the summer I spend my summers in Red River, New Mexico. Have you guys been to Red River, New Mexico? Yeah.
Right.
And that's where we play music for, we do Cowboy Evenings. It's a steak dinner show for all of the people from Texas and Oklahoma that left their 115-degree homes and came up to the mountains. I'm sure Colorado gets their fair share of that as well. But I have lived in New Mexico for 40 years, something like that. Something like that. I'm originally from a place most cowboy singers come from, that is, northern Wisconsin.
It's true.
It's true. People don't know that. Hey, we got good soil up there. You just take these hats and throw them down. Cowboys just grow all over the place. So I do a lot of songwriting when I tour around the country and around New Mexico. And this next song is one of mine that we're going to play for you. Now, this song came as a result of the state of New Mexico. When we turned 100 years old down there, we, well, not we, but the people in Santa Fe that all gather at that roundhouse where they do all the voting, they got together and wanted to have a new state song to celebrate the centennial. Now, we already had a state song. It's called Oh Fair New Mexico. I don't know if you ever heard it, but it's Oh Fair. Now, it's a good song, but it's very old. It was written by Pat Garrett's daughter, same Pat Garrett who shouted out with Billy the Kid. So that's how old that song is. So they put the word out, and over 300 songwriters sent in a tune, and by golly, when it all got said and done, I don't know if one night they got to drinking or something, I don't know. But they ended up choosing one of my songs to be the new state song of New Mexico. And, oh, thank you. Thank you. And mine's called the official state cowboy song. That differentiates between the two. But it's written into law that both of them are a state song, and they'll be there forever and ever and ever. I think that's really cool. What's the best part of it is there's children in the New Mexico public school systems forced to learn my music. What could be better? Not much.
Well, playing it here.
Okay, that's a good idea. Let's play it. It's called Under New Mexico Skies. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Where the Pinon Mesa rolls, and the campfire cures your woes, watching the sly road runner flee on the tails of an autumn breeze. I'm leaning against a juniper bough as the creek water takes a stroll. That's where you'll find me, where the big back country lies. They're the cowboys free to ride out under New Mexico skies, where the lean jack hops along and the coyote sings his song up high the Rockies by a shade. The sunny desert days, I'm leaning against adobe walls of old. The stories to be told. That's where you'll find me, where the big backcountry lies. They're the cowboys free to ride out under New Mexico skies. Yeehaw! Just me and a covey of a gambling quail, loping down the turquoise trail. That's where you'll find me, where the big backcountry lies. They're the cowboys free to ride out under New Mexico skies. That's where you'll find me, where the big backcountry lies. They're the cowboys free to ride out under New Mexico skies. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. That song's been good to me for a lot of years. Sometimes we get hired to play just one song, and that's the one we play. You wouldn't think that would happen very often, getting hired to play one song, but there's what, half times of like football games and sporting events, really short weddings. Not a good omen, I don't think. We love to play Western swing too, and this is a good old song written by Bobby Troop. It's been recorded and played by pretty near everybody, including us. It's about a little highway that cuts its way east and west across the western U.S. Shall we, boys?
Let us.
1, 2, 3, 4. If you have a plan to motor west, take the highway, it's my way, and that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66 and winds from Chicago to L.A. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Or you can go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, looking mighty pretty. Now you see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Now you getting hip to this time to tell when you make that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Let's kick it around, boys. St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, looking mighty pretty. Now you see Amarillo, Edgewood, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Now you getting hip to this timely tip and make that California trip. get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Yeah, man, get your kicks on Route 60. Meep, meep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mandolin.
Thank you.
Oh, isn't that a fun song? Here's one you can sing along with if you know it. From this valley, they say, you are going. I will miss your bright eyes and sweet smile. For they say you are taking the sunshine that has brightened my pathway a while. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu. Just remember the Red River Valley and the cowboy that loves you so true. The night sky is shining up above me, and it's lit by the star I wish upon. When I open my eyes and gaze upon it, I realize that you are gone. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu. Just remember the Red River Valley and the cowboy that loves you so true. How the coyotes will howl all around me. All right, we'll try that again. Here we go. How the coyotes will howl all around me, while so sadly I strum my guitar, as I pour out the love I must vanquish into the mirage of a star. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu. Just remember the Red River Valley and the cowboy that loves you so true. Yeah, man, the sounds of the prairie from Uncle Bob. All right, guys. You guys want to sing a chorus with us? I think that'd be fun. I think this is on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, so let's show the audience what 850 people sound like singing Red River Valley. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu.
And four-part harmony. I scared him.
And the cowboy that loves you so true. Oh, oh, oh. Good singing. All 850 of you. crowd size is a topic of argument these days.
Yeah, it is. It's
So we had 850 people here tonight. Turn those cameras around. Show everybody. Turn those
Show
cameras
those.
around. Yeah.
850.
Show how big our crowd is. But we play for a lot of different size audiences. I have played for over 100,000 people, and I have played for one person. I think I got it surrounded and everything in between. That's for sure. How about you, Uncle Bob?
I've played for 0 people, Sid.
Okay, you got me beat. I played for 0. Our one was, you may remember a long time ago, it was in Colorado. It was in, what's that lake by Pagosa? It's a big, Vallecito.
Oh, yeah, when we were up there.
Yes, it was a blizzard,
Right.
and it was New Year's Eve, and one person came.
Yeah, I do remember
We thought
that.
nobody was going to come. Somebody came, we're like, okay, we're going to play.
Virginia's Steakhouse, right?
Virginia's Steakhouse, that's right. That's right, that is what that was called. I hope it's still there. You know what time it is, don't you, Gary?
It's time for Marty Robbins song.
Time for a Marty Robbins song.
You got me trained.
Here's one about a guy with a giant gun. Giant gun.
What'd you say?
1, 2, 3, 4. To the town of Iowa, Rio rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. For the stranger there among them wore a big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came a-riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw loose and running, came a whisper from each lip. And he's here to do some business with that big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, but that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth at 24. And the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Camera. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. He was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He was there to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. He said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red. It wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be that ranger with the big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. Now the morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from their windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death, about to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red and not cleared leather for a bullet fairly ripped. And the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. It was over in a moment and all them folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his head. Big iron on his head. Big iron, big iron. When he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his head. Big iron on his head.
Hey, Sid. We got a security man from the train series that we did up here.
That's right.
And
Woody.
he was our security guy. You remember?
We played a lot of years on that Rio Grande Scenic Railway. I know I did 22 concerts up there. Gary also plays with Michael Martin Murphey, so you guys did more than that.
And some with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and some with me, but was that a great time. I had the best record out of anybody. It only rained one out of all of those 22 concerts. I think that's why they kept hiring me. And it only rained for like one song that one time too. I had the best record. I missed that. That was a cool event.
Cool idea.
Yeah, it really was. Did a lot of you guys do that? Get on that train, go up there, defer? Yeah, it was good times. Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Well, it's gone.
I know. I know.
Other than that, we're good to go. But yeah, I actually saw a guy was up in Forbes Park and he was flying a drone around and he flew over it. And well, the stage burned and then they started to rebuild it and then COVID and then blah blah blah. Oh, do you really? On which side? So did they get burnt? They did. Oh, still though, yeah.
Sad.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big fire a few years ago, the spring fire, and did a lot of bad. But hopefully everybody came out of it okay, except for the insurance companies.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy has been measuring trees. Somebody's got to do that. I mean, think if nobody did that. What?
How would you know?
How would you know? Exactly. How would you know? So my latest CD is called Cabin Songs. It's my 9th Western music CD that's been released. Bob says escaped. I say released. And I went to a cabin in the Pecos Wilderness in New Mexico. If you know where that is, if you don't know where that is, it's kind of north of Santa Fe. Up in the Santa Fe National Forest is a big section of the Pecos called the Pecos Wilderness, and there's no roads and stuff like that. You got to ride in, but there's this remote cabin up there around 11,000 feet elevation, and I went up there for a little over a week in February. There's no cell phone, no landlines, or internet, or TV, or Wi-Fi, nothing. These kids are like, "What? How's that possible?" And I went there specifically to isolate myself from the outside world to see what kind of songs I would write if I didn't have all the interference of all those things I just listed. And it was great. I got up there and I started writing songs and I ended up with 9 tunes. Some of them have been rolling around in my head. Some were brand new. And I finished them, and those 9 plus 6 old Cowboy songs make out the whole CD, Cabin Songs. That's why it's called that, because it was in a cabin. Now, we're going to play one of the cuts from you. We'll probably play a couple cuts tonight, but this is the first one from it. And this is called High Country Trail. As I looked out the window of that cabin, there was like a big meadow out the picture window. And then these Douglas firs were there and the aspens were there. They didn't have any leaves at that time of year. And then past that in the distance was the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, just rising up, covered in snow. So I started pretending, what would it be like if it was the old days and I was the line shack rider? And I was up there for a week at a time. You get down one day a week to stock up on supplies, see your honey, sit in front of a warm fire, get a good old meal, and then you head back up there and do it again, and you come back for one day at the end of that week, and over and over and over. It wasn't too hard for me to imagine that, because that's actually kind of what I do as a touring musician. So as I was pretending that, though, and putting myself in that spot, I realized the best part of that would be that one day that you get home, where you get down below and see people, and like I said, see your gal and sit in front of a fire and all that good stuff. And so this is the song that came out of me. Let me get a swig here. It's called High Country Trail. Are we ready, boys?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I've been working all week, riding fence again, earning one man's wages for the work of 2 men, but I pay no mind till the this old barbed line. My saddle's on and he's good to ride down the slope of the North Ridge line to where the fire burns that keeps me warm. High country trail, take me where I wanna go, where my horse steps light across the alpine meadow, through the aspen grove, in the dancing sunlight, to my cabin where she waits for me tonight. Here in the backwoods, picking on the front porch, washing down the sunsets with loving and moonshine, we sing out loud of our life so proud. Hear the water giggle by while laughing out the dreams that brought me, tapping footsteps on the pathway to our home. High country trail, take me where I wanna go, where my horse steps light across the alpine meadow, through the aspen grove, in the dancing sunlight, to my cabin where she waits for me tonight. Because it's always good to come home, and even better when you've got someone to come home to. Take it, Mom. Country trail, take me where I wanna go, where my horse steps light across the alpine meadow, through the aspen grove, in the dancing sunlight, to my cabin where she waits for me tonight. Because it's always good to come home, even better when you've got someone to come home to come home to. All right. Thank you, guys. High Country Trail. So let's play a Colorado song.
All right.
Yeah. We don't know any. Wait a minute.
That could have been one.
Yeah. Now we know some. We know a bunch. We're going to play an old one. So part of my career is dedicated to the preservation of very old Western songs. And by that, I don't mean, we played some Marty Robbins stuffs and silver screen, 40s, 50s music. I'm talking late 1800s. Post-Civil War era, that 25-year period where men who knew cow could make a living on the back of a horse. A rather poor living at that, but that's how they made their living. Now, a lot of great music came out of that time period. And the people who wrote those songs, they weren't trying to write a hit or record a song or get sheet music printed or have somebody more famous than them record their song so they could make some money off of it. Wink, wink. That's not what they were doing. They were just telling the stories of their lives. And because of that, I think that those songs are a truly important piece of American history. Western Americana. Cowboy-acana. Is that a word yet?
It ought to be.
Cowboy-acana. It doesn't really roll that good,
No,
but it's a
doesn't.
word now, yes. Cowboy-acana. We should spend a lot of time on this when we're not in front of people. So I like to research the history of these songs and learn them and share them with people and teach them to people. And it's just a really cool thing. And it's one of the favorite things I do with my career. So this one we're about to play is called the Colorado Trail. It's a Colorado song. And the Colorado Trail was one of the big trail drive units that left Texas back in the late 1800s. Now, it would run north, and then it started to cut northwest, and it just caught a little bit of our state, of northeast New Mexico, a little bit, and then it went into Colorado, where it jumped over the Purgatory River and ended up in La Junta. Yeah, which probably should be pronounced La Junta, except for that guy that's here from Maryland, it's La Junta. Anyway, the song it really is a pretty song. We have no idea who wrote this. Nobody knows. It was handed down from ranch to ranch and drive to drive. Some guy was out there missing a gal and wrote a song and ended up with what we're about to sing for you. I think that's kind of cool. This song's over 150 years old. The Colorado Trail. La da dum da 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 dum. The Colorado Trail. Ride all the lonely night, ride through the day. Keep the herd a moving on its way. You weep all ye little rains, and wail, winds wail, all along the Colorado Trail. Eyes like a morning star, cheeks like a rose. Laura was a pretty gal, God Almighty knows. You weep all ye little rains, wail, winds wail, all along the Colorado Trail. Stormy night, dark is the sky. I wish I'd stayed in Abilene, nice and warm and dry. You weep all ye little rains, and wail, winds wail, all along the Colorado Trail. All ye little rains, and wail, winds wail, all along the Colorado Trail. All along the Colorado Trail. Thank you. Isn't that a cool song? I went a little out of tune, boys. Let me check this. Oh, there it is. Apparently my G string got stretched out. Can't take her anywhere. Oh, man. A couple more before we take our intermission. What do you think? Intermission? I don't know. Intermission. We're going to take us one. I don't know where that came from. So let's see. Is everybody from right around here? Alamosa? In the Alamosa area? Anybody outside of Alamosa? Anybody travel here tonight? Where are you from? Burlington. Vermont. Oh, Colorado. Oh.
He's from the Code Factory.
Yeah. I think there's a Burlington. Yeah, Burlington, Vermont. Right. So cool. Well, you guys all enjoy the Colorado stuff, then, that's for sure. Yeah, those old songs, they inspire me quite a bit. We get to go to these cool places, ranches, parties out on the people's wonderful properties, trail rides where everybody brings their best horse and gets together, and we all get up early in the morning, ride off into the high country, come back at the end of the day, have dinner, a couple drinks, sing some songs and stuff like that. Those are Western. Those are really fun. They usually last about a week. Now, some of them are small, like 50 or 60 riders, but some of them get 200-300 riders or more. And we're out there, and we have quite a bit of fun with them, and we play a lot of music, and we end up playing on stages and around campfires and pretty late around the campfire. So sometimes we sleep late, but on this one trail ride, I got up really early while the band was still asleep. Really early in the morning, I got out of the band tent and started stirring up the embers in the band campfire right in front of our tent. Just to throw on a few twigs and get the heat going, because all the high country morning air is cold, so this way the boys would have something to warm up next to when they got up. Well, they stayed to sleeping while I did all this, so I ended up putting the coffee over on the coals, and I threw a little bit of food in that there pan. You remember, you were there. You were both there on this one. That's right. So while I'm doing all this, then they smelt all that to cooking, right? So then they got up, whipped open that tent fly, and they saw me standing there. As we looked at each other, we realized, hey, this is a very unique moment. The way this is laying out, this is never going to happen again. This is the only time, I'm sure. So I wanted to hold on to the memory of that morning. So what I did is I went home and I wrote a song based on that morning's events. That way, every time I sing it or hear it, I get a visual of that morning. It may happen to you. We'll just have to see. But when I got back home, I started writing the song, and it needed more. So I started adding some relationship things that were going on in my life. And the next thing I know, I had this tune, right? And we came in and showed it to the band, and we thought, well, that's pretty cool, We even recorded it on what was the upcoming CD at the time, and we really liked it. That CD got reviewed by Acoustic Guitar Magazine, and the guy who wrote that article referred to this next tune as an awkward love song. But for me, it'll always just be a song of personal experience based on that morning around the campfire. Frying bacon in the nude, that is what I like to do, 'cause it reminds me of you. Frying bacon in the nude, fishing in a lightning storm, waving metal in the air, standing in a pool of water, you surround me everywhere. Oh, I remember when we walked hand in hand together. We made quite a match, just like scissors and leather. Oh, it is what I'm thinking of when I dream about our love, how it reminds me of you, frying bacon in the nude. So like I said, we recorded this tune, and we're in the studio, and that's when I realized, man, this song is really short. So I wanted to make it longer. I was just going to write another verse, and the amount of time it would take to sing that would lengthen the song and make it more appropriate. But then I got a wild idea. Why change the words? I could just sing another verse with the same words in a different language. That's what I did. I chose French. And you're absolutely right. I don't know a lick of French. I had to hire a guy to write down all the words for me so we could sing it on the album. I forgot what he taught me, so now I just do this. J'attends tout la frère de nudité. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Marcel Marceau, Bon Appetit, Eiffel Tower, Pepe Le Pew, frying bacon in the nude. That is what I like to do, 'cause it reminds me of you, frying bacon in the nude. Hey! Yeah! There you go. You got your new anthem now. I'm glad you like that. What's your name? Carter. Carter, how old are you? 10. Man, when I was your age, I was 11. Carter. You work on that one, Carter. Carter's a good name, good strong name. Well, let's play one more before we take a little intermission, let people stretch. If you want to come up and say howdy, we'll hang out back there in the corner. And you can take a look if you want to learn more about my recorded music. I'd love to tell you about it. The good man with the great beard that introduced us, he mentioned that I got a new product. This is pretty cool. This just came out this year. I feel really hip and modern, which is not usually words people use when talking about me. But it's it's like a USB card with a little flip-out thing, and people have been asking for that for the last year or two. And I didn't want to put all of my CDs on individual ones, so what I did is I put all of them on one, plus the out-of-print Christmas CD, plus some bonus tracks that aren't on anything. And we just combined it into one thing and try and make a good deal. So it's called 100 Western Songs, and that's what you get, 100 Western Songs. I put when that came out just about 2 months ago, I put a blurb on Facebook. Y'all know Facebook? Man, that's going to catch on one day. It got a lot of response. It really did. No, it's true. As these guys know, I mean, before social media, I truly struggled in obscurity. But now, thousands of people know that I struggle. Remember, there's nothing funnier than the truth. So let's play a classic here before we take a little. I think our intermission will just be like 10 minutes. It's not going to be long. I don't like to really stop playing much, so once we get started. When I was a little boy, growing up in the cowboy country of northern Wisconsin, I was laying in my cabin one night, and it was around midnight. My cabin window was about 60 feet from the shoreline of our lake. It was a calm night, and the lake was like a giant mirror with a full moon shining off it. Spooky clouds moving in front of the clouds, and the moon and the lake. Just then, a man came a-singing on the old Philco radio that sat on the nightstand next to my bed. And as he sang this next song, I swear I would see him. I swear, any minute as I looked out into that night sky, I would see the Ghost Riders. Yip! Yeah! That old cowboy went riding out one dark and windy day. Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way. When all at once somebody heard of red-eyed cows he saw a-plowing through the ragged skies and up a cloudy draw. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yo, yeah! Ghost riders in the sky. Their brands were still on fire and their hooves were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through them as they thundered through the sky, for they saw the riders coming hard and he heard them mournful cry. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yo, Their faces gone, their eyes are blurred, the shirts all soaked with sweat. And they're riding hard to catch that herd, and they ain't caught 'em yet. They got to ride forever on that range up in the sky, on horses snorting fire, fire. As they ride on, hear their cry. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yo. Yeah. Ghost riders in the sky. Yeah. And as the riders loped on by 'em, they heard one call his name, Cowboy. If you want to save your soul from hell, riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride, trying to catch that devil's herd across these endless skies. Yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yo. Ghost riders in the sky. Ghost riders in the sky. Yeah! Ho! Yeah! Thank you. We hate that song. Let's all take a break.
Yeah.
a real Tiffany lamp? I dated a girl named Ty Fanny.
Ty, I call her Ty.
Yeah.
Chicken wings.
Well, I should
Nice
do the
break, huh?
same. Real quick, real quick. Okey-doke.
As we get tuned up and ready, everybody, Uncle Bob, I introduced him. He's here tonight with his wife, Barb, and it's her birthday.
Yeah.
And it's kind of special because she was born here in Alamosa. Exactly 70 years ago today.
Well, okay, she's your wife. Usually we don't point out women's ages on their birthday.
I'm sorry. Sorry, hon.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's yours.
really.
How much do you weigh, Barb? Yeah, she's rather svelte. She'd probably gladly tell me.
Moving right along.
Okay, guys. No, well, we had to say happy birthday to Barb. Yeah. So when we walked in here and when you guys were coming in, one of my cowboy music heroes, some of his music was playing, and this is a song that this guy taught me backstage in California. Oh, I don't know, 1997, 98 or something like that. And we kind of interpreted it and changed it for our band and all that kind of stuff. It's a cool old song about the wonderful communion that takes place between rider and horse as they cut trail across the land. The singer I'm speaking of is a fellow named Don Edwards. He's no longer with us. He was a great cowboy singer, one of the most popular there's ever been. And this song is called Ridin'. Well, there's some that like the city grass that's curried smooth and green. Theaters, strangling collars, wagons run by gasoline. But for me, it's horse and saddle every day without a change. And the desert sun ablazing on 100 miles of range. Just a riding desert rippling in the sun. Mountains blue along the skyline, I don't envy anyone when I'm riding. And when my boot is in the stirrup and my horse is on the bust, with his hooves a flashing lightning in a cloud of golden dust, and the bawling of the cattle is a coming down the wind, then a finer life than riding would be mighty hard to find. Just a riding, splitting long cracks through the air, stirring up a baby cyclone, ripping up that prickly pear, and a riding. All right, boys, mount 'em up. Yeah. Exhibits when the sunset does her best, painting everlasting glory on the mountains to the west. And your opera looks so foolish when the nightbird starts its tune, and the desert silver mounted by the touches of the moon. Just a riding, who could envy kings and czars, when the coyotes down the valley are singing to the stars if he's riding. When my earthly trail is ended and my final bacon curl, and the last great roundup's finished at the home ranch of the world, I don't want no harps or halos, robes or other dressed up things. Just let me ride them starry ranges on a pinto horse with wings. Just a riding, nothing I'd like half as well as a rounding up the sinners that wandered out of hell, and a riding, just a riding, desert rippling in the sun. Mountains blue along the skyline, I don't envy anyone when I'm riding. When I'm riding. Thank you guys very much. That's actually started out as a poem written around the year 1900, I think it was, by a well-known cowboy poet fella named Charles Badger Clark. And his poetry was written in stanza form, really good just to put music to. And we thank him. I thank Don for showing it to me way back when. We've been playing it a long time. So Gary here started playing with me in the year 2006. You think that's long? Bob started, what's that Prince song?
Yeah, that's right. It's something about 1999.
1999, yeah. Dang. I know, a long time.
A century ago.
The secret is have fun and pay everybody on time. So Bob and I met we have a really cool story where we met. We met at a poker game. Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah. And I told him, hey, my lead player is leaving to do something else. I need him. He goes, I play guitar and banjo and mandolin and harmonica and I sing harmony. I'm like, man, unless you totally stink, you're hired. He said, well, what kind of, yeah. He goes, what kind of music do you play? I go, I play old cowboy songs and stuff. He goes, that sounds fun, but do you ever work?
Actually, it was great because what you said is, I play vintage Western cowboy swing.
That's right, vintage Western cowboy swing.
I know, wow, does that sound cool?
Yeah. Let's show them what that means. It can mean cowboy songs, it can mean swing, but if you gotta mean vintage, and Gary's gonna take off with this one called Stay All Night. You ought to see my blue-eyed Sally. She lives way down on Shinbone Alley. Number on the gate, number on the door. Next house over is a grocery store. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. But don't see why I don't stay a little longer. I was sitting in the window singing to my love when the slop bucket fell from the window up above. Mule and the grasshopper eating ice cream. Mule got sick and the grasshopper screamed. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why I don't stay a little longer. Bottom of the hill, big creeks up, little creeks level. Ride my gun with a double shovel. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. But don't see why I don't stay a little longer. Biscuits, feed her cornbread. Gals on the big creek about half grown. Jump on a man like a dog on a boat. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why I don't stay a little longer. Boys, I'll tell you, I was driving up here today, and I got to Tres Piedras, and there was some construction. And I was gonna be like here just in time for the 4:30 sound check, and I got a little concerned because I was just sitting still for 15-20 minutes at the Tres Piedras construction place. I know, but I made it here in time. You know how? I drove too fast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I drove pretty fast, Gary. You wanna know how fast I drove?
How fast?
Just like this. Stay all night, stay a little longer, dance all night, dance a little longer, pull off your coat, throw it in the corner, but don't see why I don't stay a little longer. Mule and the grasshopper sitting in the window, singing to my love, and they're going about round. Everybody jumps and everybody dances, everybody runs and everybody hugs. Stay all night, stay a little longer, dance all night, dance a little longer, pull off your coat, throw it in the corner, but don't see why I don't stay a little longer. Stay a little longer, dance all night, dance a little longer, pull off your coat, throw it in the corner, don't see why I don't stay a little longer. Yeah! Woo! Hey, boy.
Got a few notes in it.
That was fast.
Gargling song?
Do we have any John Wayne fans here? No? So, I, like many of you, have watched every John Wayne movie dozens of times. Many people don't know that John Wayne started off as a singing cowboy. Singing Sandy. Yeah, that's right, because in the 1930s, that's what they did with every cowboy actor. Tried to make him a singing cowboy, because that's what was happening in the theaters. But he only made 3 movies as singing Sandy, and I've seen them, and they're terrible. And they gave him these god-awful songs to sing, and he couldn't sing. So some smart producer somewhere along the way said, let's do something different. Why don't we just let this guy be himself for 150 movies and see what happens? So we're going to sing you a song from a John Wayne movie, because all these great movies have great music in them, too. The single thing I think that's missing compared to old Westerns, when I'm talking about modern Westerns, is the music. They don't have as good a backing music, the soundtracks aren't as interesting, and they don't have any good songs that just show up in the middle of it. That seems to be left in the old days. And the modern Westerns, while there's some good ones, the music's just not as good. So this one, if you can picture this scene, the movie is Rio Bravo, and we're going to be in the jailhouse. And we're going to have Dean Martin laying on his back on the cot. And then we're going to have, who is sitting on the picnic table? Ricky Nelson, that's right. Dean Martin and Ricky Nelson. And, it was Walter Brennan played some harmonica, and John Wayne didn't do a thing because they knew he couldn't sing. Yeah, he was just kind of sitting in the corner, thinking to himself, this movie's going to be a big hit. And then we're going to remake it with different people and call it El Dorado. That's what happens. So anyway, the song's called My Rifle, My Pony, and Me. And it was written by Dmitri Tiomkin, who wrote all kinds of music for the Westerns back then and other movies in Hollywood. He was a Russian classical music composer, but he wrote all kinds of stuff. And so this one, I don't know if he figured it's a cowboy song, he needed to dumb it down, but it's only got 2 chords in it. But that's all it needs. My Rifle, My Pony, and Me. The sun is sinking in the west as the cattle go down to the stream. Redwing settles in her nest, and it's time for a cowboy to dream. Purple light in the canyon, that's where I long to be with my 3 good companions, just my rifle, pony, and me. Gonna hang my sombrero from the lid of a tree, coming home, sweetheart, darling, just my rifle, pony, and me. Whippoorwill in the willow sings a sweet melody right into Amarillo. Just my rifle, pony, and me. No more cows to be roping, no more strings will I see round the bend. She'll be waiting for my rifle, pony, and me. Purple light in the canyon, that's where I long to be with my three good companions, just my rifle, pony, and me. No more cows to be roping, no more strings will I see round the bend. She'll be waiting for my rifle, pony, and me. Just my rifle, pony, and me. Yeah! Isn't that a cool song? It's just so simple and it's so cool. You got to remember that when you write songs. You don't need to fill it up with a dozen chords. So we're going to play a song now that I wrote that has a dozen chords in it. This song was inspired by the Midwest. Parts of Colorado, too, the eastern Colorado starts to get into that farm country, right? As you drive through farm country in the Midwest, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, you start to notice there's a theme going on. And the theme is red barn, white house, green tractor. Once in a while, there's a rebel with a Massey Ferguson. I get it. But like 90% of the farms I pass, that's what they look like. And I drive a lot. I've played music in 46 out of 50 U.S. states in my life. And so if anybody here knows anyone in Connecticut, Vermont, Maine, or Alaska that would like to do a house concert, tell them to give me a call. Those are the 4 I need. I don't know if it'll ever happen. We'll see. So I drive around, and that's where I get songs for ideas. So I started seeing all this theme of farm, this color theme. And I thought, well, maybe I can make a song out of that, So when I was up in the cabin, I just wrote those things down. Red barn, white house, green tractor. Well, where do I go for here? And I ended up with a wholesome farm family song called That's the Country Life. Are you ready, wholesome guys? We haven't done this one in a while. I'm excited. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. A red barn, white house, green tractor, and a purty spouse. Long days, long nights, that's the country life. 3 working the field. My high school sweetheart's part of the deal. Long days, long nights, that's the country life. But we've got our place down in the valley. The work is hard and my day starts early, oh yeah. I see the sun rise up each morning, unless she sneaks up without warning. A red barn, white house, green tractor and a pretty spouse. Long days, long nights, that's the country life. 3 kids work in the fields. My high school sweetheart's part of the deal. Long days, long nights, that's the country life. The midday sun, it's starting to bathe, so I head up to the house for a lunch break. And my darling says your britches need some stitching, but first let's do some dancing in the kitchen. A red barn, white house, green tractor and a pretty spouse. Long days, long nights, that's a country life. 4 kids work in the field. My high school sweetheart's part of the deal. Long days, long nights, that's the country life. At the end of the day, when my body's tired, I look over my place that I admire, oh yeah. And that's when I see a flowered sundress hit that wooden floor. And I know this working man has still got one more chore. I love doing chores. Red barn, white house, green tractor and a pretty spouse. Long days, long nights, that's a country life. 5 kids work in the field. My high school sweetheart's part of the deal. Long days, long nights, that's the country life. Long days, long nights, so that's the country life. Thank you, guys.
Where's the dance?
It's a wholesome farm family song. Well, you know, Gary, speak about dancing.
Yeah.
Dancing is what this band did for most of its original years. Oh, yeah. Dances.
Yeah, we still do.
I went to a cowboy gathering in La Veta, Colorado. I used to have a ranch on La Veta Pass for about 14 years. And ended up selling it. I ran some black baldies with my neighbor. He had a whole bunch of land, but I had a bunch of the creek water. So we made a deal, and man, we came out of that so good. When we got all done, we broke even.
That's good.
Yeah, it didn't look like it for a while. But so I went down to their cowboy gathering, and I noticed, I went to a couple more after that, and there was a lot of solo artists. There weren't very many bands, and I said, man, if I could just make a band, I think that would be really cool, and we'd play old cowboy songs. I thought, there's no doubt everybody will want that. And so it was hard to book it at first, and so I just went to a bunch of the clubs that I had played in variety bands before that and said, I have a 3-piece cowboy band with no drummer, and everyone's going to want to dance. And they thought I was nuts, but finally we got some people to let us in, and everybody came and everybody danced, and we played dances for 10 years all over the place, and it was a lot of fun. Songs like that, they would have liked that one.
Yeah, man.
Man, I see. I'm not a very good dancer because I'm always on this side of the dance. I'm proving it right now, I think. Oh, Bob has an idea. Oh, I would like to do that.
I think we'd kill it. They'd love it.
Yeah, okay, all right.
That'd be nice, 3/4.
Right, the
Bob
votes
says
are-
we're going to quit.
I'm getting tired. No,
You know, it's funny because I was thinking of that one and I didn't write it down, so I'm glad you bring that up. Okay. Everybody likes the Sons of the Pioneers, so they'll enjoy this song. Yeah. You like the Sons? They're still a band. Yes, not the original guys, obviously, but they've been a continuous band for like 90 years. They still appear in Branson, Missouri. We used to go to Branson quite often. They had a festival at Silver Dollar City that featured cowboy stuff and cowboy music, and we'd go there for 2 to 4 weeks I don't know how many years in a row, dozens more. And then they don't do that anymore, so they don't need us anymore. But I know. But we always went and saw the Sons of the Pioneers, and they became friends. They're very, very good. You know, we love singing 3-part harmony, and the original Sons of the Pioneers were the people who created the foundation of the 3-part harmony sound in cowboy music. And that was Tim Spencer and Leonard Sly. Who did Leonard Sly become?
they know.
That's right, Roy Rogers and Bob Nolan. Those were the original 3. Yeah, they made him change his name because Leonard Sly sounds like a bad guy. Leonard Sly.
Yeah.
Let's go get him. This is one of their songs. All day I faced a barren waste without the taste of water. Cool water.
Water.
Old Dan and I with throats burned dry and souls that cry for water.
Water.
Cool, clear water. You keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man. He spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free? It's waiting there for me and you. The breezes sway and seem to say, tonight we pray for water. Cool water.
Water.
And way up there, you'll hear our prayer and show us where there's water.
Water.
Cool, clear water. You keep on moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free? It's waiting there for me and you. The night is cool and I'm a fool. Each star's a pool of water. Cool water.
Water.
And with the dawn, I'll wake and yawn and carry on to water.
Water.
Cool, clear water. You keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's the devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free? It's waiting there for me and you. Dan's feet are sore and he's yearning for one thing more than water. Cool water.
Water.
Like me, I guess he'd like to rest where there's no quest for water.
Water.
Cool, clear water. Cool, clear water. Yeah, good call, Bob. Yeah.
Sounds good. Man.
We just learned that this afternoon. No. Now you got to sing together a lot to do that stuff. Oh man, that's just the harmony stuff is just so much fun, and we're gonna do another one with a bunch of harmony in it. But first, we're gonna take requests.
We are.
Yes, I'm gonna take requests from the audience and see if anybody has anything they think that they might think we can play. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand. And then I'll call on you and we'll get all the requests. Our first request was for Tumbling Tumbleweeds, which is a lot like the one we just sang, but it is a great song. Yeah. Anybody else? Raise your hand. This is right here. Kid.
Carter.
Carter. Well, yeah.
Don't know that one.
Rocky Mountain High?
Okay.
Yes. Never heard of it. Yes. El Paso by Marty Robbins. That's a good one, too. Yes, sir, you had your hand up. Bury me not on the lone prairie, a dreary dirge at the end of the night to bring us all down. Great song, though. See, that's one of those songs that's a great piece of American Western history right there. Yes. The what? The gargling song?
Remember you used to do that?
You gargle a bit.
Oh, I used to do that in Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Too late.
We already did Ghost Riders in the Sky, though. You know, I haven't. Yeah, I used to do that. I know. You know why I stopped doing that bit? In Red River, during Ghost Riders in the Sky now, the grandson of the guy who owns it, Hank Lewis, is an excellent horseman with an excellent horse. And he comes out and does all kinds of ghosts. He comes out as the Ghost Rider. And the horse spins and he like sidesteps and does all kinds of cool stuff. And at that point, we become very secondary. Everybody's turning and watching the horse. So, yes, I know what you're talking about now, but we already did that song. That is a good request. Wow. It is. All right, who else? Chris Ledoux. All right, good. Anything by Chris Ledoux. So you can do that too. Anybody else? One more, yeah. Country Roads. You like that one? We had 2 John Denver song requests. All right, give us a second. We're going to discuss this. And, yes, we're going to discuss this. So, Gary, you know what to do this time. Yeah. I'll go ahead and do El Paso. Yeah. Okay, all right.
I got one. Take me home.
Yeah, okay, all right. That sounds good. All right, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. So we talked it over, and turns out that we don't know any of those songs. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. Now, are you familiar with what a medley is? A medley is a bunch of pieces of songs put together as one song. Normally, I would, go home, I'd select the songs and the parts and put it all together. Then I'd get with the guys and we would rehearse that because it's kind of tricky to do. But we think a lot of ourselves. So we're going to try a spontaneous medley.
And we're talking the unplanned spontaneity, right?
Unplanned spontaneity. It's going to work because I have a tried and true system that's never been done before. Okay, shall we, boys?
Yeah,
you guys ready? Okay,
out in the West Texas town of
country road,
I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
I belong.
Yeah. El Paso. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. I didn't say it was going to be good. Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rose's Cantina. Music would play and Felina would whirl. Blacker than night were the eyes of Felina, wicked and evil while casting a spell. My love was strong for this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Dashing and daring, a drink he was sharing with wicked Felina, the girl that I loved. So in anger, I challenged his right for the love of this maiden. Down went his hand for the gun that he wore. My challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. The handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Just for a moment I stood there in silence, shocked by the foul evil deed I had done. Many thoughts raced through my mind as I stood there. I had but one chance, and that was to run. Out through the back door of roses I ran, out where the horses were tied. I caught a good one, it looked like he could run up on his back, and away I did ride, just as fast as I could, from the West Texas town of El Paso out to the Badlands of New Mexico. Back in El Paso, my life would be worthless. Everything's gone in life, nothing is left. It's been so long since I've seen the young maiden. My love is stronger than my fear of death. I saddled up and away I did go, riding alone in the dark. Maybe tomorrow a bullet will find me. Tonight nothing's worse than this pain in my heart. And at last here I am on the hill overlooking El Paso. I can see Rose's Cantina below. My love is strong and it pushes me onward. Down off the hill to Felina I go. Off to my right I see 5 mounted cowboys. Off to my left, right, a dozen or more. Shouting and shooting, I can't let them catch me. I have to make it to Rose's back door. Something is dreadfully wrong, for I feel a deep burning pain in my side. And though I am trying to stay in the saddle, I'm getting weary, unable to ride. But my love for Felina is strong, and I rise where I've fallen. Though I am weary, I can't stop to rest. I see the white puff of smoke from their rifle. I feel the bullet go deep in my chest. From out of nowhere, Felina has found me, kissing my cheek as she kneels by my side. Cradled by 2 loving arms that I'd die for. One little kiss, and Felina, goodbye. Nobody could tell a story in a song like Marty Robbins. Whew. And he used every word that he could possibly think of. What a great song. That's a great song. Want to do one more of their requests?
Sure.
I think this girl, yeah.
You want to do that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all
That's
right.
a good one,
Gary says that's a good one.
I think.
Well, we had 2 John Denver requests. Let's do this one. Only if you promise to sing along. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like the breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road. All my memories miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusky, painted on the sky, missed a taste of moonshine, teardrop in my country roads. Take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Take me home, country roads. I hear a voice in the morning hour, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads, take me home, country roads, oh, take me home, country roads. All right, great singing, thank you. Well, boys, where are we at? We got time for a couple more, Gary?
Yep.
Is that what it says? So we can do 2 more.
Oh, we're already there? Well, we can do a couple, yeah. I got a short one we could do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, here, it's not too long. It's been lonely on my saddle since my horse died. It didn't take too long.
Tells a
any
whole
more like
story.
Got any more like that?
No, I do not. Those were all good requests. Thank you. We actually probably knew them all, except for one. And those were good requests. Well, we're down to our last couple of the night, and I usually end with the same 2 songs. I've ended with the same 2 songs for years. One song, the first one we'll do, was written in the 1800s in Kansas, and the other one is a title track of one of my CDs. So this next song, you know, I talked earlier about how I considered those old Western classics a big, important part of American history. These are folk songs. Cowboy songs are folk songs, because let's face it, the cowboy is the original folk hero of the Americas. From Canada, all the way through here, all the way down to the Tierra del Fuego. You know, we're down in Argentina, they're riding the pampas, the gauchos, still working his cow hands down there. And this song was written, I don't know exactly the year, but a long time ago. It was written in Kansas by Dr. Higley.
Brewster Higley.
Brewster?
Yep.
Brewster Higley. That's a fun name. And it sums up Western Americana, like I said, better than any other song. And we're going to sing it. And before I do that, I'd like to tip my hat to anybody in the audience who may be a U.S. military veteran or an active duty serviceman or servicewoman, and just say thank you guys very, very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging the skies are not cloudy all day. Where the red man was pressed from this part of the West, he's likely never to return to the banks of Red River, where seldom, if ever, his flickering campfires burn. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day, where the air is so pure, the zephyr so free, and the breeze is so balmy and light, that I would not exchange my home on the range for all of the cities so bright. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home on the range. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. One of the greatest songs of all time. Yeah, my father, my grandfather, and my son all served in the U.S. military right out of high school. I didn't. I chose a different path. I was very fast and could catch things thrown at me, so I did something different in college than the military. I was a javelin catcher. Turns out no one else applied for the scholarship, so.
Did you do the Olympics?
Did they do what?
The Olympics?
That's not an Olympic sport. I found out today that tug of war used to be an Olympic sport. I think they should bring that back. Wouldn't that be great?
Better than breaking, I'll say that. You know?
Yes, break dancing is now. I know. It's cool if you're into it. I don't see it as a sport or even a game. But
There's no ball.
no, it's no game. It is the Olympic Games, but it's not a. I don't know. How do you score in that game? I don't know. That is new. Well, they always try and reach, I think, different generations, by doing different things. But tug of war, that would be great. Tug of war. Okay, so we're going to finish off with, like I said, the title track of one of my CDs. 3 times I've been fortunate for the New Mexico music industry to give me their Country Western Song of the Year award at their annual banquet, and this next song is one of them. And it's a song I wrote some years ago, and I was happy when I wrote it, and we've been playing it ever since. It's called I'm Always a Cowboy in My Dreams. I'd like to thank each of you guys for coming and joining us tonight. We've had a wonderful time. This is a unique little theater, and I've never been to it, and I'm so happy that I chose to bring us here, and we did this. It's just really cool. So thank you all for sharing the evening with us. I was homestead bound, lost not yet found, halfway through the ice with no one else around, when suddenly, while I was in a deep sleep, a rider reached out and rescued me. Ever since that day, when I dreamed the hours away, I'm riding with the boys, and we're off to save the day. I am always a cowboy in my dreams, with a good strong horse running under me, roping, riding, branding, singing on the low prairie. I am always a cowboy in my dreams. I've got one foot walking forward all the time, while the other stands firm in the way back time. Somewhere between lie all of the answers, twixt rosy gelled lights and the dirt of the dancers. Every cowboy knows that you have to dig for gold. A life of hard work and soft love will lead you down the high road. I am always a cowboy in my dreams, with a good strong horse running under me, roping, riding, branding, singing on the low prairie. Oh, I am always a cowboy in my dreams. One more from Uncle Bob. Take it, buddy. Ever since that day when I dreamed the hours away, I'm riding with the boys, and we're off to save the day. I am always a cowboy in my dreams, with a good strong horse running under me, roping, riding, branding, singing on the lone prairie. Oh, I am always a cowboy in my dreams. Yeah, boy! I am always a cowboy in my dreams, with a good strong horse running under me, roping, riding, branding, singing on the lone prairie. I am always a cowboy in my dreams. Oh, I am always a cowboy in my dreams. Woo-hoo-hoo! Hey!
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to the theater. Thank you. Oh, we already went over. We got another short one. Do you really want one more? Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, we're not going to play that. Okay. Yeah, you got Bob, you got a fan.
I love you, whoever you are.
No. Yeah.
The Hoof Beatles.
The Hoof Beatles?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's play one more.
I'll wait till you figure it out.
We have so many songs. You'd think I would be prepared. What'd you say? Did you say free bird?
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for the kids, I'd give you a free bird. No charge. Well, let's play another old cowboy song. Let's play a really good old cowboy song. This one is one of those 150-year-old songs called "I'd Like to Be in Texas" for the Roundup in the Spring. Yeah. And this is the only song I've ever recorded twice. So out of these 9 CDs I have, the first 2 are discontinued, but one of them was live. And I didn't, and there was 20 tracks on that. I didn't record any of them except for this song. We recorded as a, on one of the other CDs, I can't remember which one, but just tells a good story. And if you know an old timer, you'll be able to relate. Or if you are an old timer. Well, not all of you. We got the youngins. We got some in between. She's not old. She's not old. Old is relative. I've come to understand. You know, it just depends. People older than me are old. People younger than me, I'm old. So, yeah, it's just old. So this tells a neat story. I'm glad you want to hear another song because I actually wanted to do this one earlier, but we did a couple more requests than I thought we were going to do. So, I'd like to be in Texas for the Roundup in the Spring. 1, 2, 1. Well, in the lobby of a big hotel in New York town one day sat a bunch of fellas telling yards to pass the time away. They told of places they had been and different things they'd seen. Well, some preferred Chicago, others New Orleans. And in the corner, in an old armchair, sat a man whose hair was gray. He sat and listened eagerly to what they had to say. They asked him where he'd like to be, and his clear old voice did ring. Oh, I'd like to be in Texas for the Roundup in the Spring, where I can see the cattle grazing o'er the hills that early morn. I can see the campfire smoking at the breaking of the dawn. I can hear the cowboy singing, I can hear the cowboy sing. Oh, I'd like to be in Texas for the Roundup in the Spring. They sat and listened carefully to each word he had to say. They knew the old man sitting there had been a top hand in his day. They asked him for a story of his life out on the plains. Slowly he removed his hat and quietly began. Oh, I've seen them stampede o'er the hills till you think they'd never stop. I've seen them run for miles and miles till their leaders drowned. I was the foreman of of a big cow ranch, it's the calling of a king. Oh, I'd like to be in Texas for the roundup in the spring, where I can see the cattle grazing o'er the hills that early morn. I can see the campfire smoking at the breaking of the dawn. I can hear the broncos neigh, I can hear the cowboys sing. I'd like to be in Texas for the roundup in the spring. Yes, I'd like to be in Texas for the roundup in the spring. Oh, the beautiful spring. Thank you, guys. Round of applause for the sound man and the engineers back there who were working with us all night. Great job, guys. Thank you all so much. You all take care, and may the horse be with you.